What's good, everybody? It's full-time trip. We're back in the building. Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 0 at the City Ground. And listen, I'm just looking at the stat lines itself. I'm just like, what? Oh, today was annoying. In the grand scheme of things, I'm not gonna let today really get to me. But you can see how everybody's gonna be disappointed about what we saw today. Simple as that. I don't know what else to really kind of put on top of it from an overarching perspective. I mean, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But hope you guys are doing well. I know that game didn't help, but I hope everybody's doing as well as you possibly can be. There's not much to say from a defensive perspective in most of the games like this, of this nature. It's about the same things that we usually talk about when it comes to these types of games. The ruthlessness, the ingenuity, the quality, and honestly, this was an additional one because I think the lineup was something that could be questioned a lot too, just for how it was, or just how effectively we could have rotated players or fielded an 11 that was dynamic enough to control the ball, but also has some level of just bite to it from an attacking standpoint that can really punch something in. I mean, obviously there were some chances, and I'll get to that in an individual level. But from a team standpoint, from a team-wide standpoint, attacking effort was just poor. I did not enjoy that, honestly. And I'm trying to be as calm as possible, as y'all can tell. I'm trying to be as very calm and measured as I possibly can be to just relay my thoughts, because in isolation, when you have an opportunity again to go points clear of Man City, despite how bad that they look, despite how lost that they are, you know, or could be perceived to be gone, any advantage you can take in this league, you have to try and take it as hard as you possibly can. And just the overall feeling, especially from an attacking standpoint, was just languid. It's just labored. It's just like, I don't know if it was a mix of heavy legs, you know, just lack of intent, just lack of ideas. I don't know what it is, but there's something from an individual application level, a team-wide application level, and then additionally, I don't say this as often, but really it was a selection level of just dissonance. Just it wasn't clicking, you know. And albeit the subs came in the second half and those were helpful, but again, the attacking intent and the will of the players, somebody has to pick up and drag somebody across the line, drag the team over the line and make something happen. And we didn't see it, man. We didn't see it. And these conversations continue to just swirl around in my mind of we have to find. Is this weird to say the eye of the tiger? Is it weird to say that? Is it too cliche? Is it that? I don't know. But we have to find that level of in how we're approaching these games. We know we're coming into sides that they're going to be compact, they're going to press, they're going to do all these things. We know their game plans, set up well for the game plan. But again, when it comes to it, we gotta have to find the just a gear shift. I'm trying to find the right verbiage in my mind of it, but it's just the gear shift of, at some point, when do we acknowledge that we have enough firepower to say it doesn't matter how you set up, we need to enable some of our people to just, again, give them enough room to say, I'm going to score despite anything else that's out there. The system is, again, I will have no major gripes against the system, but now it's about capitalizing on in moments and in situations where we know we're better and we can turn the screw. I don't know if it's perceived as maybe giving teams respecting from an out of possession standpoint and not trying to be countered all the time in this specific instance, but there has to be moments where we really start to turn the screw and apply the right level of aggression and the right level of confidence into the team in certain contexts and moments. I mean, that's the thing that really sticks out for me of the lineup. We can start with that first, just from an overarching level. I can click over here again. In a game where they could press, but more often than not, we're going to find ways and routes into their final third and pin them back. And we're starting to pin teams. Having a front three of Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Madueke, who would all be great in space, that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. Me personally, I have a gripe with forcing the issue on having so many runners on the pitch when that just didn't, it just wasn't going to click. We weren't going to have enough space unless we were going to give up space, which obviously we weren't. So what was the point in having Gabriel Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Madueke, who all love space, who all thrive in space? What was the point in that? Don't know. One thing I will say from a tactical standpoint was, again, just enabling Timber to have more of the reins from his central role to just build up and have more access into those kind of central spaces. I get it, just kind of giving him the MLS type of status with some defensive solidity because you don't trust MLS right now, and I can understand that. So I thought that was fair. But from that lineup standpoint, that front three just looks off to me, you know? And then here comes the question again with the midfield. How aggressive should we be, or can we be out the gate? And maybe we can play a little bit more conservative on the backside of it. Maybe we drop one of Zubamendi or an Odegaard and we bring in Eze. You know, maybe we start that way a little bit more with 2-8s, and we see where the openings of the game might take us if we're able to put our foot on the game. You know, where do we have that level of aggressiveness? So from a lineup standpoint, I question the level of runners rather than the controls that we had. Again, immediately you saw it. It improved when Trossard came in, and then by extension Saka came in. We had a better foothold on the game when it was there. So why couldn't we have started that way, in my opinion, giving them 45 minutes to an hour, and then with the Champions League game coming on Tuesday, give them a bit more time to basically impose themselves on the game, create that. And when the game gets stretched a little bit more, and we know runners might enter the pitch late game, we have our runners and also solid defensive options in a Gabriel Martinelli who can, you know, cover down and do what he needs to do, and Madueke who can cover with pace. I just didn't know, again, from maybe a fitness standpoint, that was probably the primary reasoning, but I thought that front three was not it today. It was not it, just plain and simple. And yeah, it's just beyond that, it felt like there was a gap between the defense and the attacking phases so many times, especially in that first half. I think there was like a middle 15 minutes where we got some foothold, but a lot of it just felt so disjointed. And I'm just like, in the moments where we can pick up tempo, I know we have it in us to play, again, at a higher rate. Maybe, again, bring in a little bit more, whatever you call it, you know, like just relational passing, those little pods where people just kind of, again, pull up, move out of position, and just rotate and create maybe some quicker moments, some higher tempo moments to move into the box and open up opportunities. You know, outside of set pieces being the main contributor on that, we got to do more from an attacking standpoint. We have to be more inventive. The players have to be more inventive. And on this one, this isn't on the manager. This is on the players. Again, the quote, I think this was Pep that said it. It was like, I can coach you up to the final third, but what you do from there is that's on you. And again, I harp on that very specifically because people will love to point the finger at Arteta. And I think today he has to shoulder some blame. He absolutely has to shoulder some blame for how he set out the team. But for how you arrive into the box, for how you set those moments up, for the chances that you take or could take, that's on the players. The players have a responsibility on that as well. So that's where I'm at. Nobody's exempt today. Nobody is exempt. Just not ideal stuff, man. I'm looking through look at the XG. I mean, again, just it epitomized that stuff right here. I'm looking at this from XG philosophy. We conceded 0 goals on target. Wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to our defense, our defensive structure, our out of possession work. That will never be questioned for me. The only thing that can question it was the level of physical fitness and the tired legs that could potentially affect those moments. That's the only thing that could. I don't think, again, maybe stylistically, there might have been a breakdown, because I've seen this team physically go bat for bat with a lot of other physical teams and make something happen. So that's something that I will rarely question from a systemic issue point of view. But on the flip side, where's the other tweet here? Nottingham 4 0.33, Arsenal 2.37 XG, and no conversion on that. No conversion from all types of angles and situations. No conversions. it beats me. It beats me how we can have time and time again chances created and we're not ruthless enough, and so many potential ways we could attack, so many different profiles. Again, Eze's still here, Waneri's still here, Havertz is healthy in a situation like this against low blocks. If you're gonna spam crosses, you might as well spam it to one person, the one attacker, the one center forward specifically that will be the most adept at those situations, bringing that kind of talent in, that kind of profile in. But again, just went to kind of the same routes, same activities. You can attribute some of that to being, like Calafiori being gone and some of that ingenuity there, but at one level, he's not a natural attacker. He's a defender. And everybody from an individual standpoint, especially those attackers, they have to be more potent. They have to take more just risk. They have to be more inventive. I think, again, that word inventive is really sticking with me in this game. You have to do something different. You can't be formulaic in how you approach this game. You have to take it by the scruff of the neck and really make it your own. I just didn't see enough of that today. I mean, I have no standout players. The closest one I'll give to you was David Raya because he had a clean sheet and he was pretty solid today, all things considered. But I don't even know how I'm gonna do a 4 things I like. I might give you like 2 tomorrow, to be honest. There was not enough of imposition of will on the opposition, and I think that's the thing that's really gonna just bite us in the ass if we're not careful. From, again, ruthlessness at all levels, back at the team level. When you see these chances, are you gonna take these chances? Are you gonna not flub anything up? Are you gonna try and really put through efforts to be, again, inventive, creative, impactful, decisive with every single action you make in the final third? That's where I'm focused on, so much so I'm so focused on that final third, because that's where we have to find a way to be better. Have to. And beyond that, from a managerial level, from an Arteta level, again, he's done so much good work, but I think that's where the next evolution is, of finding the right balances to be brave, to be braver in his selection. And I think in those moments, we could very much do for, again, it could be a fitness thing where I don't know, and then hands up if I didn't know where Trossard and Saka weren't fit to start this match. Fine. Again, if I know Saka might be more of a management thing, for Trossard maybe just a selection thing, who knows. But for the outlays of these games, finding the step to, I know if you don't win, don't lose. I know that quote was something that he said from the other day, but sometimes we need to walk with enough chest, with the chest puffed out enough, with enough bravado in our lineups, in our intents, in our attack, and how we just set up to win, to really, really just be that front-footed team and that inventive team that is not afraid to try those things. That's the last step. If we're gonna be that team that's, not only gonna win this league, but be set up to really challenge and potentially win multiple big trophies in these coming years, in these coming seasons, the attack has to evolve. It has to, from all fronts. And a lot of that, I think personally, in my mind, a lot of that boils down to the individual levels and ingenuity and how you set up to platform these things in situations specifically, I will repeat, where we know we can outshoot and outgun the opposition. I had a belief that we could, based on the team that we had. I had a belief we could do that. But the pragmatism can only take you so far when there's a lot of other considerations that might render game plans and what have you moot. That's what it is. It's just a signal to the players, signal to the manager, the whole team. We got to find our ways to be more cutthroat in so many different areas, from a lineup perspective, from a shooting perspective, on the pitch, those movements, everything. We got to be more cutthroat. I don't want to take today fully out of pocket. I still think we're in a great position. I still think we'll find our ways to continue to tick over, not lose games, win games, find our way through to the end of the season and win big things. I'm still very much a proponent of that, a supporter of that, an advocate for that. But we have to find a way to be cutthroat to ensure we get over the line in these situations. Not with a whimper, but with just blinding confidence and blinding evidence, blinding ruthlessness, that we can tuck teams away, put them to the sword, and make our way through to where we're supposed to be, where we can be. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Again, I'm not even giving you too many individuals. David Raya, you can give him my standout player of the match, but today wasn't a good day. Today was not a good day, man. The opposite of Ice Cube and what he was singing about, bro. That was just not good. It wasn't it. Wasn't it. And next up, we have Inter in the Champions League on Tuesday, which will be an interesting time. I don't even know what it's going to look like. I mean, we hopefully can get a win out of that, but I really don't think we need it at this point because we're running the Champions League table. But just to ensure things, I guess, and then play kids against Kairat, fine. And then we got Manchester United, who looked really, really improved under Michael Carrick against Manchester City. So interesting weeks ahead, but we got to figure out the way to be cutthroat. Time to sharpen the blades up, man. Sharpen the blades, load the cannons, do whatever you got to do to find that courage to punch results in. Do not let games slip through your fingers, Arsenal. I believe we can do it. It's up to them to prove that. So that's where we at. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comment section below. There were no goals, so I guess no goal commentary, but all these other stuff of what you're thinking about the game, let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, my name is Full-Time Trip. That's about all the time we got, and until next time, I might be in different surroundings for the Tuesday game because I'm away from the, home base, but you'll see me. We'll make something happen. But until next time, I'll see y'all then, man. COYG. Peace.